Okay, I am so sorry. We had a connection problem and the Instagram didn't allow me to do anything, so I couldn't invite Miss Deniz to our session again. I'm so sorry for that happened, but I will invite her right now and hopefully it will be better. Because I believe also you couldn't see me too. I completely lost her and then I completely lost the control of the live session. Miss Deniz?
Hello again.
Hi. I'm so sorry that this happened.
It's my first experience with an online live interview, so it's also I changed my location. I moved upstairs.
Actually, we now see you and hear you better, much better.
Okay, good to hear that.
You know, pandemic is still teaching us a lot of things.
Yes,
And we were just talking about it before we lost the connection.
Yeah, even its name is enough to shake us. Okay.
Yes, it is.
I was talking about how pandemic affected us.
Yes.
Actually, as I said, last year in March and March and April, we were very highly affected negatively by that. And after countries actually learned how to deal with the border issues, we started to turn back to normal, to our normal business turnover, I can say. But at the beginning, the drivers had a lot of problems with long queues at the borders, and they didn't know, none of the authorities in Europe knew how to handle the situation, how to make the PCR tests, or if they should allow the drivers to enter the countries or not. Or some countries just decided to make convoys. And there had been some troubles with arranging those two. But within only 2 months, all those problems solved. So we learned, also the authorities learned how to handle the road transportation problems, and everything started to go back to normal. But then we started to have, actually, I have to mention that,
Yes,
the visa issues for the drivers. It was a huge problem, a very important problem for the companies, that they had the loads to carry to Europe or import them some goods to Turkey, but they had the trucks, everything was ready, but the drivers were not allowed to enter because of the lack of the visas. So we had also some problems in especially some areas, depending on the business model they have. But at the end of the year, I can mention that Turkey had a good finish for the year. All the losses we had in the first half of the year, let's say, were compensated by the end of the year, and we had a successful year despite pandemic, I can say.
Actually, I agree with on that with you, because I also observed Europe, and especially in the borders, there were a lot of disagreements between them, and one of them were bringing a new rule, and the other one was canceling the rule, and they were like completely, in a discussion environment, and it was not so good for our sector. But I also agree that Turkey could handle it in a better way. So our friend Sümeyye has a question, but we are just coming to that because it's about your nature-friendly transportation actions. And my question was going to be, we heard about your Green Mission program. So can you tell us what it's about and how do you plan to
implement
help
it
with the sustainability? Yes.
Yeah. Green Mission is our target that we will take some initiatives until 2030. And we have started to do them already. Our aim is to have, to support our 250,000 contractual partners to decrease their carbon emission by 30% by the end of 2030. This is what we aim, and that is what we will work with our contractual partners and with our customers to help the climate change on our what we can do for the climate issues. And we have started to do that for also with the easiest ones. Even we have a lot of projects on that, like e-mobility, e-charging, and other products. And we also, when you say sustainability, green mission, it sounds very strange and hard to understand, but very simple things can also help us support our world. And we have on what we can do as employees is very simple, that we changed all our branches to green electricity, for example. We have a special card that is called a DKV Climate Card. That every time we use it, DKV donates some amount to some special projects. And
wow, that's really good.
And what can I say? We now have printers, for example, in the office with that we must use cards for, that we must know that each time we get a printout that the world is affected by that. So it's also a very small steps sometimes, but we also have big projects on that. So our aim is big until 2030.
Congrats on that, because it's a really important issue. And obviously we are having a climate crisis, and it's gonna affect our future a lot. And logistics industry has a huge role in that, and a huge responsibility, I might say. And how can companies take steps in sustainability?
The most important thing about the climate, to support the climate, is to change the fuel they use, to have better emission trucks, for example. Yes, the land transportation companies have a very high impact on the climate issue. And we see in European countries that every year, countries take some different measurements to support their country's climate, environment. For example, what Austria did at the beginning of this year, by January 14th, Austria made a very important change in refunds that affected highly all non-EU countries that travel to Europe. And Austria, by the way, has the highest share for the Turkish transport companies for fuel and toll. That the best price in fuel and refund is in Austria. That's why, like, maybe 70-80% of our turnover comes from Austria. you see how it is important for the drivers and companies, but they decided to stop fuel refunding for non-EU countries. Austria, that's the measurement they took. And Germany decided to every year increase the tax amount for the environment issues from fuel that ended with 6 cents price increase in Germany by the beginning of this year again. And it will continue next year. It will again be increased. And the price might change again, 3-4 euro cents again next year. The same goes for other countries. So European countries don't want fuel or diesel to be used in their countries, and they will take measurements for that. They will increase the toll prices. They will increase the fuel prices. They will stop probably in the future for other fuel countries. Also will stop, other countries will stop refunds. And companies must change their fleets to electric trucks, to alternative fuels that are environment friendly. That is the future. Those, I talk a lot.
This is about maybe our audience is familiar or not, but I wanted to mention this is about the 2050 agreement about climate. So until 2050, all companies in all countries, especially in Europe, I mean, the countries who signed the agreement, they have to be more eco-friendly, and they have to stop using fuel, and they have to use electric cars and machines more. So this is about that. And hopefully Turkey will be also taking more precautions about that, because when the government takes precautions and puts the rules, and the companies have to follow that.
Yes, that is what we must in the future follow. we cannot escape that. But otherwise, all the expenses of the Turkish logistics companies will increase enormously every year, and then we might lose our customers to foreign European truck companies. That's what we never want that to happen.
And also we want a world that we can keep producing and keep doing our businesses, so we have to protect it in somehow.
Yes.
But before moving to our next question, we have a question from the audience, and this is about one of your services. So I'm just putting it here. Except from shipping, could ordinary individuals utilize from these cars to get the benefits of it?
No, unfortunately not. We are only working for a B2B business.
Okay, good to know. Thank you for answering.
Thank you for the question.
And do we have any questions from audience? I will check. Just a second. A comment about that. We can multiply the system even if we don't have electric trucks. One of our listeners he says we have a choice, and he's right. Now I want to ask you another question, but it's all about the subject that we have been talking since the beginning. So we talk about digitalization, and we talk about sustainability, and we have to use digitalization especially for climate crisis because it will have benefits. But how can students educate themselves about these topics?
With our new world, it's much easier because we have internet. We must follow up everything that is going on in the world. What is Europe doing? What is America doing? What is China doing? We must be aware of everything, and we must read a lot. Not only the students. It's an ongoing process for all of us. Otherwise, we will lose our vision on everything. So students must be also be connected to the world as much as possible via internet, via we have the internet, so it must be easier
I
than
think
ever.
your answer is very straightforward and on point, and no matter which position we are in, we have to follow the news, and we have to completely integrate ourselves, because there's a planet that we have to protect. And it's emergent right now.
Yes.
Do we have other questions from audience about the climate, maybe about the technology?
Maybe about our services?
Yeah. Yeah. They are saying thank you for your suggestions, by the way. I wanted to say. But if we don't have any other questions from our audience, we are coming closer to the end. So I will just wait for a few seconds. So maybe you have something to add.
Well, the world is... yeah, okay. I'm listening.
No, please.
I was just going to say, the world is changing. If we want it or if we don't want it, the change, but we must be open with our, I can say, ears and eyes. We must follow up everything. And we have to protect the world. We must do whatever it takes. Very small things can help us do that.
Yeah, exactly. Even a plastic bottle affects a lot of things. So we can start from there. We can start from our kitchen, and then we can continue with our business.
Yes.
I also want you to ask, before this interview, did you know about our platform, and what do you think about it?
Yes. Actually, I'm as I mentioned, I'm very familiar with the internet, and I follow up all the channels I can follow to be informed about the news from either local or international. Everything. And your channel is a way that I use to do that. So thank you very much. I'm very closely following up your channel.
Thank you too. We are honored. And by the way, we have a question. Does DKV encourage other members of the industry to help developing sustainability, or
yes.
Do you have any?
Yes, thank you very much for the nice question. Yes, we are trying to have as much as effect on our contractual partners as well. That is DKV's aim, and as I said, in 2030, we have a target, and that target will be reached with the support of our contractual partners. So if we and they want to continue the business like with us, so they must also follow how we act. So we also have huge impact on that issue for the green mission with our contractual partners.
I think that's really important. So thank you for doing that. We have a question from Mr. Tunjai. What is the percentage of customers who are going to Europe for exporting and prefer your company services?
We know the number of the trucks that travel to Europe, and we can say that each more than half of them have DKV card or Eats box. So we have a market leader position with amongst the top 3 companies.
Wow. Yeah. I think even if a person is not interested in logistics investors, somehow they are familiar with your name. So I think it's a huge success and something hard to achieve.
Yeah. Thank you very much. And
okay,
we are very 87 years old company actually. And when we first started the business in Turkey, I was surprised to see how people knew about DKV, because many years ago DKV were in Turkey for maybe 50 years ago. DKV were in Turkey, and some people remembered it, and I was very surprised to see that. That also brings us we are very proud of our history as well.
Yeah, I think it's great. If our audience they don't have any other questions, we might end our session right now. We have talked about your services and especially DKV Eurobox and DKV Livebox, and how they are important in the especially border services and for drivers and for how can I say, the road passes. And we have also talked about the effects of pandemic, and we highlighted the importance of digitalization in sustainability, because no matter what, we have to prepare ourselves and be careful more about the environment. And that was our highlights, I must say. And we must also, no matter what, we must follow the updates and news, and we must always improve ourselves, especially when it comes to environment and climate. So thank you a lot for coming and joining us today. I think it was a really nice session.
For me as well. It was very, very good experience. And I really enjoyed for the questions and this session. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you. Hopefully we will see each other again in future. And take care of yourself.
You too. Bye-bye.
Okay. Good evening. Okay. I hope you liked our first English Instagram session. And in near future, we will see each other again in other events, in other English events. And don't forget to follow our platforms, and so that you can keep updated. Thank you for coming, and good evening.